Welcome to Speaking in Spoons with your host, Christina Brookman.
Hi, welcome to Speaking in Spoons, a chronically ill podcast. I am your host, Christina Brookman, and with us today we have a very special guest, Musa Motha, and he is here to tell his story of disability with pediatric cancer. Hi, Musa. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. And some of you may have seen Musa recently on AGT. He was Simon's Golden Buzzer. I loved your dance, but before we get into that, um, why don't you tell us a little bit about how this all got started, what your childhood was like, and uh, I know you wanted to be a football player at first, correct?
Yes. Yeah, it all started with I was a football player, like at a little like young age, very young age. Um, Before I got sick. And yeah, I got sick, and then my left knee started to swell up. So we didn't know what was happening until they took me to the hospitals, and then we had to do the process called biopsy. Which is it's a surgical process where they take your bone marrow and then they put it in a test. And then the results came positive with cancer. And then that's where they diagnosed me with cancer. And then they introduced me to the treatment of cancer, which is chemotherapy. And then after that, I took chemo, I think, for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then they suggested the amputation. And then yeah, and then that's where we actually like had to sit down as a family and then come out with the outcomes of like what's happening today, how my life is gonna change and all of that. So
Right.
yeah, we went through that, and then yeah,
How old
we
were you at that time when you
I
went through that
was
process?
I was like 10 years old. Yeah, I was
Wow.
10.
What was it like to hear that you had cancer and that you might the amputation part?
I honestly didn't understand what cancer was at that time because I was still young, and it was my first
Right.
time like and being in like an encounter with it. So for me, it was really not that major, but I could feel
Okay.
the vibrations in the house that okay, this is quite serious. But for me, it was not really that serious.
So you think maybe being younger kind of helped you with that?
I believe so because my mind was positive at all times. So I was just like thinking about I have to get better, get out of here, and then go back to school and play with other kids. That's all.
That's great. I'm guessing it
Yeah.
maybe had a bigger effect maybe on your family worried about you. Did you notice that at all?
Yeah, I did. I did. I mean, every moment that happened there, I was aware and I noticed everything.
So what
Yeah.
was it once you had the amputation and you were going back to school, how was that transition for you?
It was not really difficult for me because after my amputation, I used to get like pass out, which is like I can go back to home to visit for like few days, sometimes for a weekend. So I would just like literally walk on the streets, play with my friends and all of that. So people were used to seeing me, and I was used to like people looking at me. So when I went
Yeah.
back to school, it was not really, it was actually not difficult for me. It was an exciting part was because I got the, and then I was playing football on my crutches as well. So
Wow.
that brings excitement to other kids. So I was kind of like the cool kid at school, so it was just like, yeah.
How did you, okay, explain how you played crutches with, or played football with your crutches. I think that's amazing. You always just seem to have this positive spirit about you, which I think is incredible to just focus on how do I just keep going no matter what. So explain how you did
Mm.
that.
I mean, I guess to start with ignorance, I ignored all the negative stuff, They would get to me, but like I ignored them. And my mom taught me that everything happens for a reason, right? So I was like, I'm like this for a reason. So there must be like a positive reason out there. So I need to fish it out. So I've been fishing it out, like, okay, I'm in the situation for a reason. So I have to keep being positive at all times, and I focused mostly or only on the positive things, only like positive aspect, nothing else, So, and I used to tell myself that there's something great about me, I'm the chosen one. They could have chose
Yeah,
someone else, but yeah, but I became the chosen one, meaning I'm stronger than a lot of people, because I can bear this, I can live with this, I can adapt and adjust into this, So yeah, that's actually one of the things that made me, keep on going. And I had dreams. I always wanted to reach my dreams, and in my dreams, I have to work hard. So when I work hard, I forget about a lot of things that are happening in my life,
right.
but I focus on winning. I focus on being the greatest and working hard. Achieving my dreams. In that process, I don't see anything else, but I see myself, just progressing, going into it. When someone comes to me like, yeah, being all negative and stuff, I remember myself like, okay, what have you achieved in life? I've achieved this and this and this and this. So meaning this person, we don't have to literally like, entertain him or her, you know. So we know ourselves, when you know your power, but like I work with that. I know who I am, I understand
Right.
who I am. So in that case, no one can touch you. Nothing can really touch you or nothing can move you, because how can you handle everything that is around you, as a person? So yeah.
No, I think that's incredible advice that your mother gave you and that you were able to absorb and make your own. Like I like to tell people, um, with chronic illness, with disability, we're built as warriors. We live every day with this, we can take this on, we can do anything. And I loved hearing what you just said because you are your own cheerleader, your own that's incredible. So you wanted to be a footballer. How did you make the transition to dance? Like that seems like um such a different transition, but also there's such a I come from theater, so I realize there's a lot of athleticism in dance. But I'm
Yeah.
curious how you made that transition.
Um, I always say dance found me because I literally don't remember the transition, I remember when they taught me how to dance, and then from there I just went on with it. I never stopped since that day. I never stopped. I kept on wanting more, kept on like, doing more. And at that time I was playing football. I was still playing football with my friends. And football just became something else. It was not something that I always wanted to do. Like it was not a dream anymore because the focus has shifted. Shifted to dance, which is like I'm excited with this thing that I just found, and it's so good. When I dance, I feel good. People feel good. And I love it. I'm starting to like it. Because at first it was just a hobby, and then all of a sudden I feel like, okay, this is what I want to do. And I've never seen someone does this, so I might be the first one. Let me just go with it. So yeah, the transition was not really, that difficult or challenging or tricky for me, but it was more of like, let's just go with the flow. What is this? We found
Right.
something else, we found something new, so let's entertain it, And then with me entertaining it, I met great people. I've been to great like places, I've built so many beautiful memories and all of that, and it got me so attached to it that I didn't want to let go, So yeah.
What do you said they taught you to dance. Who taught you to dance?
I was my friends, the one that I used to play football with.
Oh, cool. That's really cool. So that's a shared experience.
Yeah.
What do you choreograph your own dances?
Yeah. Yes, when I do solo works, yes, I do. It depends again what project it is. Sometimes I'll be in a project like in theater works and it's a dance piece and then they give me a solo. So the choreographer would choreograph the solo. But if it's
Right.
just me, someone booked me just for me alone, or the solos that I did on the Got Talent, yeah, I choreographed them myself, but I I had help from other choreographers, directing the choreography, um, giving me input as well.
Right.
Um, but mostly when I do like my solo work, I choreograph it myself.
What do you take inspiration for your my absolute favorite dance that I saw that you did was I think it was your Golden Buzzer one where um the music kind of described, things that people couldn't understand, but and you couldn't share, with your grandmother because you didn't want her to cry. That song with the connection to the dance just was
Mm.
so powerful, and I truly I identified with it, because sometimes I want to keep a brave face and not make other people around me feel the pain that I'm feeling all the time, because I don't want to feel like a burden, or I want them to know I'm going to be okay. So I'm just curious how you pick your music, and um what thought process goes into the choreography.
Um, I mean, I listen to a lot of music. I love music. I love good music.
Yeah.
So when I hear a song, when I hear it, I can literally see myself dancing for it, or dancing with it. And then it's all about like how the instruments are merged, how the song is composed, how everything comes together, that really like makes me wants to like be part of it, So when I choose my songs, I literally listen to music for like a week, not doing anything, not choreography,
Yeah.
not doing anything. And when I finally find the song, I listen to it all day long. I don't listen to anything else. I listen to that one song. And then because I kind of like I want the song to live in my body so that when I'm not listening to the music, when I'm in the studio, I can still hear it. So that's that's one of the processes that I actually go through. And when I start choreographing, I just choreograph with like I already see what I want to do. So I'm just like making my imaginations, I bring my imagination into life. So yeah, that's actually how I choreograph. Yeah, and then I listen to the song again, again and again, and then I just like go into the studio, dance, 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 and then I also look at my what is this? My previous videos, like my dance videos. I
Um,
look at them for inspiration as well. Like, okay, I did this there. Okay, on this one, I can do it differently. How different can it be? Instead of turning 2 times, I can turn 4 times. You know,
okay.
instead of going sliding to the floor, I can jump. Or do this. So yeah, that's how I do.
That's amazing. I love that you're how much music means to you. And then you do so much work going back and looking at your old videos and putting all this together. Like I think, sometimes people watch and they don't realize the incredible amount of work that's going in to a piece. Uh it seems to mean a great deal to you. Uh where do you see, like, what are your goals for your future? Where do you want all of this to go?
For my future, I want to I want to get an opportunity to, I'm actually creating an opportunity for myself to be able to help other amputees out there who wants to be professional dancers. It will start there before I can open it to like other differently challenged people, just for me to be able to know the transition or to know how to teach someone, So I want to make sure that I actually open this industry more, and have more people that are like us, on stage and performing
Yeah.
professionally. And yeah, and again, it's a matter of like how do I actually go outside the world and still give or serve or share this talent that I have, which is touring, creating tours, creating more theater work so that I can tour the whole world and share this thing with people. Yeah, the main point here is to share as much as I can before I can see myself retiring, so yeah.
I think that's wonderful, trying to make dance more accessible and helping others, other amputees, other people with disabilities realize it's something they can do if it's something that aspires them. That's a great gift you can give people. Um, what um I had a question and my brain froze. What advice would you give to uh children or adults that are going through cancer or the possibility of losing a limb? What advice would you give to them?
Um, I'd say chin up. That's the first thing. Chin up. Um, Sit down and ask yourself what it is that you want. You might have to literally restructure your life, restructure your dreams, because of the situation that you're in. However, just know that you are in this situation for a valid reason, and the valid reason will only and only be the purpose. There's a purpose why we are like that. There's a purpose why we had to change from normal bodies to um, differently able bodies or being born like that, So just know that you have a purpose and nothing must never really stop you, and build a support system in your heart so that you know that you literally don't need anyone for emotional support, because in most cases you are the only one who understands yourself, you know. Um, so, and again, don't give up on your dreams. Just know that anything is possible as long as it exists in your mind is possible. And your dreams as well, they exist in your mind for a reason because they are possible, And again, one thing that you would literally have to consider is that if you like, I would say if you compromise or if you sacrifice what you want become a sacrifice. So you need to make sure that you actually sacrifice for what you want. It might be you sacrifice your peace. It might be you sacrifice your comfortability, for what you want. So be it, because after some time you're gonna be able to reach your dreams and be comfortable. So it's all about that. And what I can say is that like ignorance is bliss. People are gonna talk. They're gonna talk all your life. You're gonna hear people talking about you. Talking negative stuff about you. But just know that you are the chosen one, and you are special. You're super special, and no one can really do what you do. So yeah.
Thank you. Um, and to that, what advice would you give to family members, friends, loved ones of people that are differently abled, going through cancer or amputation or any kind of situation?
I'd say be there, be there when you need it, and make sure that yeah, just be there when you need it, and avoid awkward things at all time, and understand your friend or your family member who is differently able. Understand them, be there for them, and yeah, stop being awkward. That's the most thing that I would say. So yeah, just be normal, live normal. You know what you want, you know what your friend or your family member want, and you know what they love, so stop making them feel how they look.
Just treat them normal.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me today, with coming on to our podcast. And I'm so excited to see more dances from you and see what you do with helping other amputees learn how to dance. I think that's such an incredible aspiration. So
Yeah.
best luck to you. And we'll have to have you back on the show and learn more about what you're doing and how you're accomplishing your dreams.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to come back in.
Great. Thank you.
I
And
thank you.
for those listening and watching, stay tuned for Nate and I to have an after party, and we will be right back. Hi, welcome back to Speaking in Spoons, a chronically ill podcast. This is our after party, where myself, your host, Christina Brookman, and my wonderful co-host, Dr. Nate Strauss, discuss the interview you just heard with Musa Motha. So, Nate, what do you think?
It was very inspiring. I think he came back from what I think a lot of people would consider a death sentence, and just cancer is one of my, like, I think it's such an interesting name. Cancer is a crab. Like, that's where the disease gets its name from, the finger-like projections and the spreading of cancer. That's why it's called
Right.
cancer, because cancer is crab.
Right.
And so you think about, like, that diagnosis I don't know, it's such a silly name, but it's serious. It's like, I pause when someone says they have cancer, and then in the system of getting cancer, like, he did the chemo and he did the surgery, and, like, after that, like, a lot of people are defeated, but he wasn't defeated. He's turned his life around, and now was on America's Got Talent. And I mean, I know
Mhm.
that's not the epitome of turning your life around, but I think he came back from something that would have wrecked other people for sure.
Yeah, I think I do think it's a wonderful thing, like at that age, not really comprehending, but like what cancer is, but like he said, he could feel the energy in the room of his family. So he knew it wasn't something good, whether or not he knew what it was. And I think his mom gave him such incredible advice. And then how he just has, I don't know if it was always something he was born with, or how he was able to, he's just got a light in him that he seems to be able to shut out the bad, ignore, and that's such great advice he was giving. People are going to say bad things. They're going to stare at you. They're going to say, no, you can't do that. But to just, you are the expert of you. And to learn that you have to find emotional support within yourself, you know? because I think so many people, like we've talked about this before, where like community is everything, and it is, because we do need those supports. But if you're not able to emotionally support yourself, I think that's where people get, where it makes the process even harder. And it is a hard process. And I he needs to be speaking more, because I think he just gives such incredible tools. Like this episode, we weren't going to do our after party because I just had an unexpected surgery this week, and I've been in excruciating pain and in and out of the hospital. But I loved hearing him talk so much, and actually rewatching it for our after party kind of helped give me some positivity that I've needed, and also to remind myself I can do this. I like how he says you're chosen. There is a reason for this. I can do this, and I get myself out of bed, move while I'm in bed, do different things. He just gave some really great tools, and I think tools are helpful to people. They're just helpful.
I mean, that's all of us, right? In the disability community, we've all had to make new tools because we didn't have them when we got our diagnosis.
Right.
And I mean, I saw what he did, but we have very different diseases.
Yeah.
And he dealt with something that, like, his change was instant.
Right.
Mine, on the other hand, has been like a slow burn.
Right.
So it's been like a long adjustment, but now I'm like here, and but it's different stories, but the same,
Universality to it. Yeah. And you've been doing a lot of work on yourself too with that mentality.
Yeah,
Sorry. That I think has really helped you with physically and moving forward and with your dreams, and like, he said you may have to shift, you may have to adapt, but don't give up on dreams. Like, don't give up on you have a purpose. So it's about finding what our purpose. Maybe that purpose is changed, but that's okay. It's about, and I love that his friends jumped in and was like, okay, you're on crutches, you have one leg, let's figure out how you can still play football, and we'll teach you how to dance. That's awesome.
yeah.
Really cool.
And now you're chosen and you're special. I think it's a different way of seeing it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should probably try harder to adopt that sort of perspective on my life, because some people feel like I'm chosen, but not in a good way. Like I'm a member of a club I never wanted to belong to.
But maybe if you think of it positive, it might help you get out of bed and get, when the things are hard to do. Like, I know right now it's helping me through some pain. It's helping me be like, okay, I can do this interview right now. I'll go pass out, but I can do this, and I'll breathe. And I think it is that positivity that we need. It doesn't mean that we always have that positivity. And he did kind of speak to that, allude to that. We all have our moments, but it's really trying to drown out the negative and try as much as possible to focus on the positivity.
No, I don't. I mean, I think you have your moments where you're negative, but the key is to try your best not to stay there.
Yeah.
Because when you live there, it's hard to live.
Yeah. Like we always say, if you didn't go to the dark place, you wouldn't be normal. But just we don't live there.
If you didn't have dark thoughts, it would mean something's wrong with you, that you're a crazy person. Because this has darkness to it.
Yeah.
And there's always a shadow. And I think you try to I think that that Marvel movie said it best, that we don't we don't we don't defeat our demons, we just learn to live above them.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
Living above.
Tilda
Yeah.
Swinton. That
Which one was that?
that was the Doctor Strange, the
Okay.
first one. Tilda Swinton said that to
Uh-huh.
Mordo. I mean, it's not exactly like a philosophical reference of like Voltaire, but just I think that
It's a little
I
bit
don't
of poetry to that.
yeah, I don't know where that idea originated, but I think it's profound that we always have the demons. You can't get rid of the demons. It's part of you.
Yeah.
Especially
But
when
you
you're
live above them.
chronically ill. You learn to know they're there, but you don't sink down to be with them.
Yeah. And uh talking to him also just cheers me up because he just has a light and a radiation of positivity. He's so excited about what he's currently doing, what he wants to do. I love what he wants to do. I think that's and I was we have a lot of um like dance troops and training for people that are wheelchair bound in America.
Yeah,
Um,
I've
but
seen.
I haven't seen anything like for amputees. So this is like a whole other, and then like
Mm,
what he was saying, evolving into other, because there is a whole spectrum of differently abled and like looking at like the chronically ill too and like chronic pain but I still like, I miss moving. I know you miss moving or like and to have help people that have kind of figured it out for themselves, and they may not know our condition, but they're there to be a support and help you figure it. I just think that's incredible. And yeah, I'm excited to see where he goes with this.
yeah. No, I mean, I'd love for him to open up his disabled dance studio and teach
Yeah,
people, have like a whole like what do you call it? Like a what do you call it? Like a dance group? Isn't like
yeah, the
it's
truth
not no, it's called yeah, there's like when you're a bunch of people dancing, it's like
studio.
there's a word,
Well, they
I don't
have
know.
dance troops and the dance troops tours, but then there's specific studios and stuff.
I thought there was like a cooler name for it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe, and I'm just forgetting.
I can't remember either. I just remember like I think about another TV show called The Good Place. Remember where that
Yeah,
the Asian guy,
yeah,
um he does dance, he does like professional, well not I don't know professional, but like amateur dancing, and he had like a
yeah,
troupe of
yeah.
people. I thought it was called something. Yeah, wrong. I don't know. But the just that whole thing, I don't have any desire to do it, but I think it's very cool.
I love it. And for those listening or watching after in this episode on YouTube, we will attach his one of his dances and we'll put links online too if you're listening so that you can see some of his um incredible dancing. He is on Instagram, and his bio and links will be on our website as well. So I just wanted to make sure you know that so that you can go and please don't miss because it's not just amazing because he's dancing with one leg. It's amazing because as a dancer in general, he's extremely gifted. Like his creativity of movement, his athleticism, the choices that he makes, the music choices that he makes, and how he's able to use his body and movements to identify with the music and emote. Like, because I remember in school, like, because I went to a conservatory, we had the dancing majors, and they always talk, like, sorry, dancing is acting, it's emoting. You're telling a story, and he does that so well. He's and I think he would be an incredible teacher and speaker. Should write a book. I just want to see him more out there. I feel very blessed that we got to have him on our show, and I'm just wishing him all the best. And do you have any final thoughts, Nate?
Life's a stage. We are merely players. We have our entrances and exits. I just think it's all, just because life knocks you down doesn't mean you have to stay there.
Yeah. It gives you a new purpose.
I personally need more to remember that sometimes. It gets difficult at times, and you lose your why.
Yeah, we do. We lose our why. It's a grieving process. And I do think, like, in the community now, people are throwing around the word like disability porn, like, it's a bad thing to put people out there with disabilities as, inspirational. But you know what? If somebody's story inspires you, I don't see how that's a bad thing. I'm a disabled person, and there are people with disabilities or different abilities whose stories and the way they have found purpose and refigured their lives to be happy. I find that inspirational and something I can learn from. And I don't think that's ever a bad thing. So, yeah. Well, thanks for listening with us. We've got some great future episodes coming up in April. And also check out our website under our schedule where we list each episode and who the guest is. There's a button that you can click that says meet our guest, and there's going to be a whole page dedicated to Musa Motha where you can learn all about him and follow links to his Instagram and also to dances and get to see his work. Thanks again, and save your spoons.
If you want to contact us, please send a DM or email to speakinginspoons@gmail.com with any stories you have or would like to interview with us on any of our upcoming topics. And check out our website for all of our upcoming episodes and what's happening in the Speaking in Spoons community at www.speakinginspoons.com. Thank you for listening to Speaking in Spoons, and have a great day.